Okay, so yesterday we did the halacha of forcing the guy to give tzedakah, and to receive, right? Yeah. So the one that we're going to focus on today is, let's reread that again. Someone who doesn't want to give tzedakah, or he wants to give less than what is proper for him. Basin forces him and hits him until he gives what they've estimated that he should give. They could go into his possessions, in front of him, and seize what is proper for him to give. And they could put a lien on his property, even on Erev Shabbos. So our question was, we said earlier that the minimum amount of tzedakah you give is a shlishi shekel each year. So what does it mean? So presumably that would be the case where the guy doesn't want to give even that, and then Beis Din can compel him to give that. But if that's the case, then why does the Rambam say they force him to give what is roy for him to give, right? Like they should just force him to give the minimal, right? And I even saw the Arוך Shulchan does seem to hold that. So in the Shulchan Arוך, let's read the Shulchan Arוך first. In Reish Mem Ches Yordea, Kol Adam Chayav Litain Tzedakah. Afilu ani hamisparns mina tzedakah chayav litain mimash yitnulo. Shenosein pachos mimash roy litain based in kofin oso umakin oso makas mardus ad yitain mash amadahu litain. V'yordim lanachasa b'fanav lokachim mimenu mash roy lo litain. Was that? No. Yes.
Or you saying the difference between the Shulchan Aruch and the Rambam?
I didn't. I said there's a difference between the Arוך Shulchan and the Rambam, which we haven't read yet. So the Arוך Shulchan says, "V'kasva Torah Shulchan Aruch Sif Aleph, Kol Adam Chayav Litain." Every person is obligated to give. Afilu ani v'chulei. Umisha nosein pachos mimash roy lo litain. Someone who gives less than what is obligated to give, based in kofin oso, umakin oso makas mardus ad shiyitain masha amaduhu litain. Yordan l'chasa b'fanav lochim mimash mimenu masha roy lo litain. Ad kan l'shonan. V'kasvu delav anikai. So they write that it's not talking about an ani. Shahari lakaman simin reishnun gimos if ches mevora de ani shalonasan ein machayvin oso litain. Okay, fine. So that's what the Drisha holds, that you don't force an ani to give. Below mashma came, but he doesn't like that. Some say it's if you have a parnasa from another place. I don't know what that is. But then he says like this: If so he says that this is talking about a third of a shekel per year, and that we do force him to give. Mashma even the ani. Uvasimin reishnun gimel ma'iri b'shar tzedakah. Kamash malan the ani shenosein makablim mimenu. Yeah. Oh, sorry. And ani who gives, we accept it from him. You might think that we don't accept from an ani if he gives more than the minimal amount. Kamash malan delo. So no, we do accept from him. So
you're not hoping the onion more.
Yeah, right. But you seemingly force it. Right, you force another guy to give more. That's true. Yeah, I think I misread the first time. So let me try this to answer the question and tell me if I'm missing something. I know we worked out a whole thing about how you reconcile day machsoro with these shiurim of like a fifth, a tenth, and like pachos. Yeah, you have an answer?
Yeah, no, I have maybe something to throw into the mix.
Yeah, sure.
Questions.
Yeah.
There's also the answer to not give to an ani who asks, right?
Right.
Rambam said that explicitly,
right?
Like aside from just the lotas, he said like any ani.
Right, to turn him away empty-handed.
Right.
Yeah.
So how does that play into with all this as well? Like there's like it almost seems like this like Yud could be talking about that case, right? Like Beis Din season.
Oh, that's interesting.
And they got ani asked me, he says
right.
no. He says like I've already fulfilled my fiyatzeh.
Right.
He says no, but like that's an isser, right?
Yeah.
So then do they hit him?
Yeah, that definitely could be a case. That definitely could be a case. Yeah, I hear that. What was that? Yeah, you're saying that's an answer.
First I was going to ask you as a question.
Oh, I thought you okay.
I guess maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I think though we still have to answer our original question. So let me try this, just relearning the original halachos, and if everything falls apart, then so be it. If the ani comes and asks you for day machsoro, and if you don't have enough to provide for him, you give according to your financial means. Okay, so that implies if you do have enough, then you give de machzor asher yachzor lo.
Right.
Okay, right? So, but if you don't have enough, you give them according to your means. And then what is that? The comma, how much is that? Then you go into the triplicate division of ad chamish nechasa mitzvah min muvchar echad me'asar nechasa beinoni pachos mikan ayin ra. And then the minimal amount is no less than shlishi shekel b'shana. So, is it possible that if you just take the halacha straight, then mi she'eno rote litain tzedakah, it has to be talking about one of two cases. Okay, either you do have yado maseges, you are able to provide de machzor asher yachzor lo, and you refuse to. Okay, or you don't have enough, and then it's referring to like you don't even give shlishis per year. Yeah.
I want to argue that's the second one.
I'm saying it's both. I'm saying that the case is for both.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, go ahead.
I want to argue it's the second one.
Okay.
Can you scroll back down to mid? Right. Mishnah Roteli Tain Tzedakah, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, sheetin ma'ad mimasha royla.
Okay. Okay, fine. So I guess it could be both then, but I want to bring, I guess. Can you scroll back up? Okay, Joyce said tzedakah, right? And then he says also that olam al yimna adam atzmo mishlei shekel b'shana, right? The chol anos yipachos miza lo kiyem mitzvah.
Right.
So you could say that mitzvah and tzedakah, in that sense, are interchangeable, right? That when he says lo kiyem mitzvah, it means that they haven't done the mitzvah. So what does it mean when the guy doesn't want to give tzedakah?
Yeah.
It's that he's not being makayim mitzvah.
Right. So I certainly, if he's not doing the mitzvah, you can force him to do the mitzvah. My question though is there a case where he is doing the minimal, but you're still forcing him to give more kfi his royla?
Yeah.
And I'm saying that that's the case where he is wealthy enough to give de machzor and he doesn't. Yeah, Yosef.
Okay.
I don't see how that even be applicable for us. Why you ever assume this law is applicable in the case where he just gives less than the shlish of a shekel? Because one, it says talking about like what's royal for low, not some objective standard. Second, there's also such a small amount that it would waste the basin's time. I mean, they could get that money easier by just working that time they were dragging.
Yeah, but that argument doesn't matter at all. I think that last argument is a bad argument because first of all, it's a mitzvah, and the point is not to get the money to the ani. The point is to get the person to do the mitzvah of tzedakah. And based in you could say that like why would Beis Din convene for a $5 case, but they do. Like we care about tzedakah and mishpat.
Like, someone steals $5.
Yeah, right.
Be like, well, just pay the guy $5 then.
Right. Yeah, but
If he's saying if his yad is Maseges, right?
I'm saying if his yad is Maseges, then you can force him to give however much he is proper for him to give in this case.
Stipulation in Yud.
In Yud, So in other words, I guess the way I'm reading Yud now is the first case is he doesn't want to give anything, right? And then the second is he'll give, but he'll not. But he has the ability to give according to his de machzor asher yachzor lo, and he doesn't. Then you can force him to give that also. I think that's just the simplest reading. Now, the only unknown is that Arach HaShulchan that we did, who says that no one person is obligated to give de machzoro, because that's only in a case where like you can take care of all the name in your town, and like it's understood that this is supposed to be like dispersed, and then the Rabbanan like dial down the shiurim. I think that's what creates all the complications.
So you can say, well, I guess everybody can technically give a fifth of their wealth, right? Meaning, like on a technical level.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Say, like,
So
Machshavah Lab would be a fifth, but like. It would be the same thing.
Right, but the question is like, at what point now does according to Arach HaShulchan's premises, at what point does Beis Din step in? Like, why can't I say I want to give less than a tenth of my wealth? If fine, I'm stingy, but I can do that. Yeah.
I assume Arach HaShulchan just makes the most sense, and that's like they're bond the Beis Din time figures out, okay, this is how much money we need, so we're going to collect that much in tzedakah taxes. And if you don't pay your tzedakah taxes, are going to
that could be also right. Meaning that Beis Din really has the needs of everybody, on the radar, and it could be based on that, right? And on like what the people in the town could support. That's true. So it does work out with the Arach HaShulchan system. Yeah. Okay, good. So we worked out. Yeah. Okay. Next halacha, which we're probably not going to be able to fully analyze today or this week. Adam showa. So a showa, not showa, person who is a excessive giver. That's how I would translate it. Shuhu nosin tzedakah yasser min haroi lo, meaning very generous, overly generous, and he gives tzedakah more than is proper for him. Or he causes himself suffering by giving to the gabayim who come to collect, so that he's not ashamed, right? Asur l'tava ov ligbos mimeno tzedakah. It's asur to collect money from him. To I don't know what the difference between l'tava v'ligbos, but it's also to collect tzedakah from him. Interesting, right? V'gavai, yeah.
Accept and ligbos is to like.
Well, tovea means to claim, to make a claim on the person, and legavos is to collect. I just don't know practically what those two mean.
Well, one would be like you're going at him. The other one is he's coming to you.
Oh, that could be, yeah, yes.
Because the Yuvos is, I guess, the local based in government, and the Tavo is like a poor person.
That could be also, yeah, okay, that's true, yeah, because the ligbos is the gabai.
Right. So also for the fact he says, that seems like you go to the gabai.
Yeah.
Not that the gabai comes to you.
No,
So it seems like that conjugation in this context seems to be like.
I don't know, because the gabai coming to you, you could still say that, and then you're no saying to him, right?
I guess.
Yeah. The gabai shemachlimo v'shol mimeno, a gabai who shames him and asks from him, asid lihapar mimeno, will be ultimately punished. Shnemar, on account of him. Shnemar ufakadati al kol lochatzav. I will exact retribution from all oppressors. So that's a really interesting thing. So let's look at the Makbili. Showa is Nadiv Hamachalig Mimamona Biad Rachav. So it's a very, very generous person. Yasser min Aroi, Yosser Michamish is Mamono, so more than a fifth of his possessions. Shemitzer La'adzmo, Shechai B'tzimtzum, so he lives like very sparingly. B'choser Gam Me'atzmo, and he deprives himself. Okay, Gabayim is Hamamunim al tzedakah, people who are appointed for tzedakah. Machlimo is Mavayish also, Mavazo also, shaming him and disgracing him. Asi liparamimeno, he's going to be punished in the future. Akadosh Baruch Hu, Asi lahanish also, God will punish him in the future. Koloshan Rambam B'makam Acher, like the Rambam says in Tshuva 6:1, Nifraim mimeno b'olam hazeh. He is punished in this world. Begufa ubamamona ubabanav haktanim, either through his body, his possessions, or his young children. V'yesh nifraim mimeno l'olam haba. And sometimes people are punished in Olam Haba. Shnemar, as it says, Shakadosh Baruch Hu ma'anish as kol mi shalochitz as Yisrael b'chinam. God punishes all people who oppress the Jews for no reason. Yeah.
So many question on the halacha.
Yeah.
Is this coming at it from it almost kind of seems from the second half. Seems like it's coming at it from almost like couple of reels kind of like.
Yeah. The question is what's.
You can't cause somebody to live disparagingly. I don't know what's right. You can't call somebody to live,
B'tzimtzum.
Yeah.
Sparingly.
Like what he said, sparingly?
No, sparingly. Is that what I said? Sparing is yeah. So it's interesting that my mind went to this in Hilchos Deios terms as the opposite of the miser.
Yeah.
Right. Because in fact he says in Hilchos Deios, kilai o shoa, or the two opposites. Right. Was it?
It's bad to be.
Yeah, it's bad to be either. Right. But the funny thing is, he says with the other guy, with the stingy guy, but with this person, there's these isurim, But the reason why is because here you are, what do you call it? You are trying to collect from him, so the issur is really on you for oppressing him. There's no parallel case in the guy who's stingy. He just is like, in other words, the case is he's trying to get money from you. You don't cater to that, here, then you enabling him would be not you enabling him. Yeah, right. You enabling him would be usher, right?
So it is parallel.
It is parallel, right? It's just that in action it manifests itself differently. That guy we leave him alone. This guy we refuse to accept from him. Yeah.
Like in both ways, you refuse to interact with him in the way that you want.
Exactly. Yeah. Now the funny thing is, what happens if he tries pulling one of these tricks of giving it as a matana or halva? It sounds like it's also for us to accept it from him.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's good. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah, but it is interesting that halacha, that this is actually in Hilchos tzedakah, that we recognize that this is a certain mentality that some people can't help themselves in terms of giving, and they're in danger of impoverishing themselves, and that's also bad. That's creating more aniyim. So it could be coming from kavod abrius, but it could also just be coming from the fact that like this guy's going to become an ani and then become dependent on people. Practically, yeah, right. Yeah, interesting. Okay, interesting halacha. Yep. Alrighty. Another week of Rambam in the books. Yeah.